It's a beautiful sky, but it's scorching hot out there. The sun is intense. I don't remember it being like that when I was a kid, but the sun seems more intense these days. Out here are the meat birds. They're growing slow, and I'm not sure why, but they're alive. They're doing all right. I put that jack in front of the door to stop raccoons. Other than that, everything's great. They're really good. I've got the airboat off to the side. I've got to get the truck moved. I'm still trying to figure out where to put it. I think I'm gonna, there's a fellow YouTuber who wants to come over and work on that, and I might take him up on the offer. We'll see. By the way, I am dealing in small engines and equipment, so when you see me going through a lot of machines, that's going to be part of what I do to make money now. To, in quotes, feed my family. I got attacked a lot the other day for buying stuff that I don't need when I should be feeding my family instead. Well, when you're self-sufficient and homesteading and trying to provide yourself your own way, you do what you can, and that's one of the things. Last night, I hope the wind isn't too rough. Last night we planted about 70 peanuts. I hope they're going to be okay. It's really hot in there in the sun, and I'm probably going to put some more straw up after we water them tonight. But we got a row here, and then I've got a row over here. Where'd I start them? Right down here. These are more heavily in the straw, so you can't see them. There's one that's actually, you see, I can't see my camera in this weather. I really can't see my camera in the sun. Let me see, there's, oh, I think you'll see it when I think it's there. I can't see my display. I think that's it. There's a happy one, really growing well, but it's brutally hot. Just really hot. Our potatoes are starting to come. I definitely have to fight back the grass and the weeds here more. But potatoes are growing all right. I did let the strawberries grow because they are feeding me little tiny berries. We've got corn and peas in here. The peas I just put in last night. They were from seeds I started indoors. I am having a battle keeping the wheatgrass out of here. I'm always pulling it out every day. The fava beans are really healthy. They are loving this the most of anything we have. And then the green beans I put in about a week ago are, yeah, well, they're not doing a lot. Now over here, this is my best of all. The cabbage family of plants is doing well. My chilies are giving me fruit. It's time to stake up the cucumbers. I'm finally getting some flowers here. I have a lot of leaf curl, which could be from the heat I was reading online. It's most likely from the very intense heat that they're suffering. And I may have to shade this place a little bit to protect the plants from that. The straw helps, but the heat is brutal here. And I think that although tomatoes love the warmth, they're not happy with the intensity of it. And the cucumbers here need to be staked up. Back outside, we've got corn coming up. In these two rows, these were direct sown. They're struggling because of the heat, but they're coming. And then I left wheat to grow wild from the straw over here. Just let it go. And then Melanie and I planted beans. Some of them are starting to look a little better. We planted beans and peas. Last night I put a few in here. I hope they'll be able to make it alright because it's really hot. I didn't get the straw in last night. And our vine family of plants are alive and well. I went to the Amish today and I got a load of topsoil mix. This is peat with aged cow manure and topsoil. And I'm going to fill up the rest of that last raised bed right now. So I forgot to grab the tripod. I got to go get that. And then I plan on making a lettuce bed out of trees. So I'm probably going to run that on the lumber mill to make 2 straight edges per log, and then cut them and make myself a lettuce bed in a not as hot area for the lettuce to grow. And for that, I brought home a bunch of semi-rotting wood in various states of decay to fill the bottom section, as I've done so far with everything else, following through with my hugel culture method of planting, which is a hill-based planting, but you can do it with raised beds, and that starts with decaying tree material on the bottom, which provides nutrients as it rots. Starting out very slow because I'm trying to be a little bit neat. I want to clean the truck out and not lose any dirt to the ground. Not sure how much I got. It's I guess a half a yard. Roughly. I want to make a couple more beds. I'm going to make an herb garden up in the apple orchard, and also I want to finish that bed up there. It's probably heavy enough for that wheelbarrow. It's old. I don't know how much I'm going to put in here. I've got straw in there. Probably going to be a few wheelbarrows at least. I don't even know how many wheelbarrows are on the truck. They say you can grow in straw directly. I'd be curious to see if adding soil on top would be enough to make it work. Very curious to see how much topsoil I need in order to grow in the straw. The topsoil is going to break down, the straw is going to break down underneath the topsoil and add nutrients. I'd be curious, but I've got to go down along this whole row and over to where I ended up a year ago. Well, I got to level it out, but I've got about 4 shovel thicknesses throughout the whole bed now, on top of the straw and the wood, rotting wood material that was down below. I did not finish this corner. There's just a little bit here I need to put boards in, so I didn't put any material there. I also Don't have anything to plant there right at this time, so it's not stressful. And I might experiment in planting something directly in the straw over there, just out of curiosity. So we'll see what happens there. This end is lower, but I didn't have as much fill down below, the rotting wood material. This is very moist stuff. It does, this is from the Amish again. It does retain moisture. And it seems to be alright. So that's what I backfilled this area with, and that whole section, which is being overgrown by wheatgrass. Now the tomatoes are definitely overheated. I've got to get them shaded or something. They keep pulling out the wheatgrass, but it does help provide a thick, dense cover. As I pull it out, I throw it on top, and it helps provide more cover for the tomatoes. The cherries are the only ones that are really doing good. Everything else is slow, I think, just because of the heat. Now over here, though, these guys are loving it. These guys are really loving it. I've got to actually make sure that it's not too thick here. I might have to start pruning and thinning some of these things. And I definitely have to get my cucumber vines staked up. I'm going to prune the lower leaves of some of these cabbage plants so there's no decay down below. Get some airflow down to the bottom base of these plants, all of these. And get these guys out and up, staked up, so they can start growing better. And there's some kind of mites, aphids or some weird black things on them. I'm going to have to probably spray that. I've got an organic spray for that. But yeah, looking good. Alright, well, I'm going to go in and take a break. Get out of the heat. I've got some peas and beans inside, and I'm getting some starters ready. They've sprouted, I should add. I've got them sprouted, and I'm getting some starter trays ready to put them into. I'm still planting heavily, actually, out here. So we're going to keep on going. We'll be done soon, though. I just want to make sure we get a good, huge harvest. And then probably we'll start again and stagger our plantings a little. But, you know, you can put in some peas and some beans and then do every 2 weeks or so to have a continued harvest throughout the season. And that's most likely what we're going to do. Now I'm filling these just about 2/3 of the way up, and then I'll bring out the seeds, and they're the seedlings, the sprouted seeds, and then I'll put them in their trays, and then I'll finish filling with the soil mix. And then a couple days later they should all be poking out. I'll give them a few days to a week to establish a good root system, and then transplant them out to the garden. We should have at least a lot of peas and beans this year. Now there's something else I want to do, is root vegetables. I haven't started any. I don't know if it's too late, but you know, we did have a late start to our season because we had a lot of freezing. And although we do have a sort of a greenhouse, it froze. It froze hard earlier. We lost all our plants. Melanie realized mung beans are not an option out here. Why the rooster's trying to compete with me. Mung beans are not an option here. The growing season is too long. I just don't think it's ever going to happen, sadly. Unless we start them inside with a heated greenhouse next year. Now I'll take this and set it on my workbench in there. And then I'll bring out the seedlings. And then we'll put them in. So there's my sugar snap peas right here. Then there's the normal sweet peas. They've got quite a nice sprout on them. So I'm going to try to set them up. I don't know if you can see right here, my finger, yeah. I'm going to try to set them up to where the sprout is sticking out on the ones that are that good. I just pulled the head off that sprout. I hope it doesn't kill it. Some of them are pretty far up there, and that'll give them a real good head start on growing this year. The conditions in the garden, I've said that before in videos, the conditions out there in the garden are brutal. So I have to go ahead and give my plants a head start if I can by sprouting them indoors under controlled conditions and then putting them into the trays to continue growing. And that gives them a really good chance, because it's just too hot out in the garden. It's just way too hot and dry. And we are in the middle of a dry spell. The neighboring town may have gotten some rain. I don't know if they did or not, but we did not. So Gaylord, I don't know if Gaylord got any rain or not the other day. We were supposed to get some, but we didn't get a drop, unfortunately. So we're in the middle of a dry period. The next 6-7 days don't look like they're going to get any water on us either, so it's all up to us. We water every day, the greenhouse and the garden, and our raised greenhouse beds every day. So do what we can. This year is going to be better than ever before, because we're learning about the environment out here, and we're adapting. Yeah, we have mistakes, we have problems, and we have surprise weather issues that are going to hurt us. But, you know, we're getting better, and we're learning what grows. Like peas and beans are going to grow because they're quick. They don't like the heat, though. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I don't think this hot spell is going to last forever. It's going to cool down eventually. Alright, well, I'm going to get all these out. Looks like I got quite a few. There's a lot here. Very lot. We'll get them all in there. So there's one set. There's about what I figure 36 in a set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 4 is 24. No, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 4. There's 48. Oh, that was the other set. The trays with 3 each. There's 48 to a tray, and that's not even half. So there's going to be well over 100 of these. There's another tray. I doubled up some of them just to get them out and done. Some don't look so healthy, so I doubled up the unhealthy with the healthy, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to cover that with dirt and set it aside to grow. I have 2 rows of sugar snap peas. I'm going to put a label on them. And 2 rows or flats of sweet peas. And I've got enough for probably another flat, but I need a break. My back is a little sore. And I'll do that later. And I need to charge my camera.